Montessori language activities for babies and toddlers. One of the major focuses of the Montessori method is to help children help themselves. In the Montessori environment, the materials and activities that support language development for 0 to 3 are a bit unique and aren't what most people might expect. Until 3, language is taught indirectly, or rather, it is absorbed by the child who learns it without effort in a language-rich environment prepared for the child. To help infants and toddlers communicate by themselves, the Association Montessori International, or AMI, suggests a few simple principles. Prepare the environment for good communication. This means you should prepare yourself and family members because the child will absorb most of their early language from you. Connect your child to the environment through talking, listening, and reading. Make time for your child to absorb your words and practice speaking. Language learning actually begins before birth, at about 30 weeks gestation. Around this time, baby's brain has developed sensory and brain mechanisms for listening to tone, intonation, and structure, and can actually differentiate between the sounds of their native language and a foreign one. They've also developed a preference for their mother's voice. This in utero learning lays down important foundations for their own communication skills, which usually begin with whimpers and cries. A newborn's uniquely positioned larynx won't allow them to produce the sounds of human speech for a few more months. By the way, did you know that babies cry with accents? A study of 60 different crying newborns from different countries found that they tend to cry with the same prosody or melody used in their native language. Cool, huh? Here's what the typical progression of language learning looks like between birth and age 3. Between 0 to 8 months, babies are absorbing the sounds of language, including how you move your mouth while speaking. They make different cries for different needs. They smile and laugh in response to others and imitate some sounds. Between 9 and 12 months, most babies become quite mobile. They're interested in learning language, describing what things are and what they do. Most babies can communicate needs with sounds and gestures, and babble and repeat sounds. Between 12 and 18 months, most children are learning and using new words every day. They're encouraged by our responsiveness to their attempts at language. Most children use 3 or more words by this age. They get attention using sounds, gestures, and pointing while looking at our eyes, and combine lots of sounds as those speaking. Between 18 and 24 months is usually when the language explosion occurs. A child's environment and experiences should be rich with interactive language. Most children are able to have simple back and forth interactions or respond to simple requests, even though they may not be speaking much by now. Rest assured that they're still absorbing everything. Between 2 and 3 years, expect more leaps in language growth. Most children can usually speak in full sentences and hold short conversations. The more language you provide, the more he or she will be able to absorb and use. Here are 10 things every Montessori caregiver can do at home to help your child communicate. Care of the AMI Aid to Life website. Create a calm and quiet environment for your baby and protect them from loud noises and distracting sounds. Try not to play the TV or loud music in the background. Make the human voice the sound he or she hears most often. Have back and forth conversations with your baby. When your child makes sounds, respond as if he or she were speaking. Encourage other caretakers to do the same. Eventually, these sounds will become babbling and then speech. Read stories, recite poetry, and sing. Do this from the very beginning of their lives. Children develop larger vocabularies and a love of reading poetry and song when they frequently engage with it. They crave to hear the same things over and over. Focus on things that are simple, realistic, and reflect everyday life. Speak clearly and directly. Let them see your mouth moving. Narrate or sportscast their day-to-day activities, providing vocabulary for what they're doing or the materials they're interacting with. Don't use baby talk and make up nonsense words for things that have real names. Babies need to hear the correct words used by adults in conversation. Baby talk can be confusing for babies, and avoiding it removes the need to reteach those words correctly later. Respond to attempts to communicate. This is very important for encouraging your child to communicate more. By responding, you are showing them that their words are important. You are building up not only confidence in your child's language abilities, but confidence in themselves as well. Use correct vocabulary. Don't limit yourself to general words like knife. Say butter knife. Instead of tree, say oak tree, and so on. This is when they'll learn language faster than any other time in their life, so don't limit the words you expose them to. Don't repeat mispronunciations. If your child cutely says paschetti, respond with the correct word. We're having spaghetti for dinner. Repeating the phrase with the correct word will help him gradually adopt its usage. Take turns telling stories. Tell stories from life, not only from books. What did you both see on your walk today? What was Mom or Dad's first day of school like? Your child will love the detail and simple stories of everyday life. Take time to listen. Again, by listening, we are showing our child that their words are important. We are also modeling basic grace and courtesy. Don't interrupt and allow plenty of time for your child to finish their thought. Make this a regular practice. Speak, sing, read, and discuss. Do these things daily. Make sure that their experiences with language are interactive and engaging and done with real humans, as that's been shown to be more effective than passive listening to TVs, computers, or other devices. Stanford researcher Anne Fernald points out that it's rich engagement that shapes their mental processing speed. Speedier processing allows babies and toddlers who recognize familiar words to pay closer attention to the next word in the sentence. Those kids get more out of each experience, boosting vocab, strengthening working memory, reasoning, and conceptual abilities. Both quantity and quality of book reading in the toddler years predicts early literacy skills like name writing, beginning sound awareness, and early reading skills. Make your reading interactive and ask your child what they see on a page, what's happening in the story, or how the characters feel. Focus on names of objects. Hold an object in front of baby, or if you want to emulate the classroom, present it on a work mat. Name the object. This is a flower. Ask baby to take the object, saying, "Now you take the flower." Repeat. Again, you can also present an object in a basket or on a tray or work mat, which you then keep on their small shelf. Name parts of the face. When baby is paying attention, touch one part of his or her face and name it. Your eyes. Guide their hand back to your face and say, "My eyes." Repeat for as long as the baby is interested. Introduce no more than one or two parts at a time. Extend the activity by asking baby where his or her nose is. When he or she responds, say, "Here it is," in a back and forth type of conversation. Name parts of the body. When baby is awake and willing, gently touch and name a body part, like the fingers. Touch one by one, saying "finger" each time. End the activity by wiggling your fingers and seeing if baby imitates you. This is a great activity to repeat daily, especially when dressing baby or while changing a diaper. As they become aware of more body parts, begin asking your baby where they are. Where are your feet? Here they are. Five familiar pictures in a book. Present the selected book and open the first page. In simple and clear language, name what you see. Cat. Present categories of objects. Present 2 items in a basket or on a mat. Pick one up. For example, say, "This is a truck. The truck drives on the road and goes vroom vroom." Repeat with the second truck. Put them down and allow baby to explore the items. There are lots of things you can present. Collections made up of things from around the house, from different rooms, or store-bought ones like these tube collections produced by Safari Limited. I'll include a link to them in the description below. You can also offer these as treasure baskets and use them to describe the different shapes, sizes, colors, and qualities of the things inside. Pictured here is a 6-month-old with a ball treasure basket. Find a hidden object. Following directions. Allow baby to examine an object, like a ball. Partially hide it behind something like a box. Remove it and allow baby to re-examine it. Say, "Watch the ball. I'm going to hide it again." Now you find it. Repeat, hiding in a new place each time. Offer a few items on a tray or mat. Name them one by one. Ask baby to hand you one of the items by naming it. "Can you please hand me the fork?" Repeat with the different objects. ID objects based on description. Place 2 objects on a tray or mat. Describe what you're seeing. "I spy something that is big, orange, and round. What is it?" Pick up the orange ball and say that this is big, orange, and round. Allow baby to examine it. Repeat with the other object. Invite baby to select objects based on your descriptions. Don't prompt, hint, or correct. If they hand you the wrong thing, simply thank them and describe what they selected, re-describing the item you are asking for. All of the previous activities can be done with objects around the house. Here are some ideas for more advanced language work. With older children, you can more formally introduce the sounds of language and play Montessori sound games with a language object set. Language objects are mini 3D objects used to teach the beginning, middle, and ending sounds of words and are used to play pre-literacy games like I Spy. A collection can be DIY'd or store-bought and should include the 26 sounds of the alphabet as well as digraphs like F and Ch and blends like Br and Tr. Keep in mind that sounds are not introduced in alphabetical order, and never more than 2, 3, or 4 at a time. Look up Montessori order of sounds for suggestions on which sounds to introduce first. You can also offer story sequencing picture cards, which help children learn how to order events and think logically. They also prepare them for reading and writing as they learn to sequence from left to right. They can be offered a chance to sequence anything from daily routines to animal life cycles. You can find a lot online. This set here is from the Montessori print shop. After most of the sounds can be identified, sandpaper letters are typically introduced. There are a number of activities they are used for, but generally, at first, they are used to match objects to initial sounds. If you like this video and want more, please subscribe and click the bell to receive notifications.